Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Business Origin Story podcast. And with me today is a lovely lady, Miss Cindy. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us where you're coming from?
I'm actually here in Southern California. I'm a member of the Las Vegas Chamber, so I'm in Vegas pretty often. And my story actually starts all the way when I was 16 years old, sending Princess Diana a letter for her wedding. And just a couple years ago, I just realized that I actually was 16 years old on her wedding. So it's kind of a full circle. And at that point, I actually did live in Las Vegas, and I started a concierge business where I would help people stay in touch, via gifts. And because, as you know, if you do not follow up and stay followed up with your clients, you're really not going to grow, and your competition is going to take over that market. So I created the service, and when Facebook started, I started doing Facebook marketing for people who are too busy. And one of my clients is like, I'm really busy. I enjoy that you're doing all this stuff for me, but would you think about adding dinner reservations and travel reservations to your concierge? I said, okay, let's do it. And here we are all those years later in 2024 and building an amazing relationship with this young man here, Drew Mitchell, and a lot of really great things going on. We're doing a partnership, a collab with our friend Anthony at Sophisticated Snapshots. And to grow in your business, actually, you have to help others people grow. So if you're giving referrals, and like I spend about 20 hours a week giving others referrals, and Drew and I met a couple days ago and decided, why not have a collab with another small business owner? So Drew does video, and our friend Anthony does photo. So we're going to be doing some great projects together here in the next year or two, especially next year. We have our national bucket list day, which is going to happen in Las Vegas. So pretty great full circle, over the last, how many years. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's always good to collaborate with businesses and see what happens, see what we can come up with. And I'm curious. I want to know, Cindy, what inspired you to get started doing this concierge business?
Well, at the time, I would go, let's say, to Kmart or Walmart. I get a gift, so I'd start with the card, and then I go to another store, let's say Macy's or whatever, and I would get a chocolate, and then I would go to another step, and I would go to the post office. So it'd take 3 or 4 different steps for me to send a gift. And then just a few years ago, I became a part of this company called Mailbox Power, where I actually make all the gifts on my website and I hit send right from the comfort of my home, my office. If I'm on vacation, I could send, someone a gift that I just met on the beach yesterday. So, and one of the things that's really super important is when we're working on our business, it's not all about the sale. So think of ways to connect with others. For instance, I became an ambassador with National Day Calendar in 2020. After 5 years of sharing National Days, weeks, and months, I reached out to the office there in North Dakota. I said, do you have some kind of ambassador program? Because I love sharing national holidays there. Yes. A matter of fact, we do. And then a few years after that, I said, I want to own my own National Day. How about we do National Networking Day? I'm writing a book on National Networking Day, growing your business through referrals and national days. And Mr. Casey Everhart is actually going to be doing the forward on my book. So, and I've known Casey probably for about 13, 14 years. So there's so many great
Nice.
relationships.
How did you and Casey end up meeting and all that jazz?
Oh my God. We met many, many years ago when I lived in Northern California. And then I moved here to Southern California. And now I'm just a good hour away from him. So just so many great relationships. Mary West with the Mary West Network. That was another connection through him. A friend of mine, Tammy Egbert. I'm actually doing some health and wellness products with her. And just over the last few months, I've dropped around 30 pounds. So it was because of a relationship that I had with Casey. Also, the person who signed her up in the health and wellness business was on my podcast to promote his health and wellness. So it just keeps on going,
Nice.
circle. And that's because you're thinking of other people before yourself. It's going to come around.
Yeah.
I started my agency back in 2018 because I was doing travel for people anyways. I'm like, why not be a travel agent? I've had over right around 2 or 3 agents at that time, and now I mentor over 70 agents. So it's all because of the
Oh wow.
relationships that I've developed that have turned full circle.
Very cool. And so what would you say were some of the biggest challenges you faced in those early stages when you were growing your business?
Oh, wow. I would say people not respecting you as a business owner, because a lot of people, when they're building their business, they're saying this is a side hustle, this is a side hustle. So if you are watching this broadcast, don't treat your business like a side hustle. Treat it like it's your career. And that's how I've grown, because I've had a whole other different mindset on how I was running my business.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I know a lot of people. That's why a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of friends I have in the video industry, for example, part of the reason why they have kind of a hard time, I notice, is because they treat it as like a side hustle rather than
Mhm.
kind of going all in and getting mentors and getting committing to networking. Like I have a friend who does great video work, but he just won't commit to. He sporadically does networking and he's not consistent with it. And I tell him, I'm like, man, you gotta. The more hands you shake, the more money you make, and it all starts with the relationships. When you're networking, it's just the easiest way for me personally. I find.
Yes, and a good coach has a coach. Yeah, so especially a lot of people, they call
Yeah.
themselves coach, but are you, mentoring with someone that who's showing you the ropes? And that's super important, because when I joined my agency, there was no onboarding program. Now I've developed a whole brand new onboarding program. I just actually uploaded a brand new website that's nothing but onboarding for someone who is brand new. So that's super
Nice.
important, is when you sign someone in a company, whether it be network marketing or a traditional host. My company is traditional host. You want to hold people's hands. You don't want to just, because I call them stackers, people who just sign someone up and they send them to the information, and they're not really there holding their hand and walking them through
Yeah.
and really learning that craft or learning that industry. Super crucial.
Yeah, that makes sense too because it's like, you need in the beginning when you're onboarding anyone on your team, you can't just leave them to their own devices. I mean, once they progress to a certain extent, you kind of have to. But yeah, that
Well,
makes a lot of sense.
there's actually a solution to that. And as you know, you're in video. So, someone like me who has an onboarding program, what you do is you start an onboarding program website. And just
Mhm.
like, for my classes, like I don't do people's Facebook anymore because I'm super busy, but people will hire me to come and take a workshop. So I could be on vacation in Cancun and someone could be taking a workshop here in New York City. So if you're
Nice.
getting overwhelmed because you want to work smart, not hard. So create a website where you could have a list of your courses, say if you're like a coach for a certain industry, or like in my case, I'm going to start putting all these different, I have, I think, around 10 videos now. So how to book
Mm,
a trip with this vendor, how to book a trip with that vendor, how to get a commission, blah blah blah. So everything that I'm doing already now is going to be on video. Therefore, it's taking, giving me more free time. And think of 1 or 2
yeah.
days where you could have self care. Super important.
Yeah, yeah, that's really important nowadays, especially. You really need to find that balance because it just being hustling and grinding all the time as an entrepreneur, it's not only bad for you, but you don't show up very well for your clients when you're in that state. So it's important to take a day to yourself
Definitely.
for
And
sure.
step outside of the box for one on ones. Instead of meeting on Zoom for a one on one, meet somebody for coffee. I live here close to Huntington Beach. So I'd like to do one-on-ones on a Huntington Beach Pier, or Newport, or wherever, you're in Las Vegas. There's little parks that you can walk around and do
Oh yeah.
walk and talk instead of being on a computer. And you're off the computer and you're in real life and building those relationships. Go to a show in Las Vegas. There's all kinds of different excursions you could do for under $100, and create those solid relationships outside of the computer, and build strong relationships by doing things together and creating memories. Because at the end of the day, we don't know if we're going to have any more memories. We go to bed tonight, we might not wake up, or we get up in the morning, head out the door, we hit our head. You just never know what's going to happen. And definitely
Yeah.
have a DMO, daily method of operation. What are you doing when you first wake up
Yeah.
in the morning? Think of 5 people you could call to express gratitude. Nothing at all to do with business. And so that's why I actually started writing a book about 20 some years ago. It was quite a while ago. And I'm almost done. I'm actually going to take a cruise coming up later in November, and we have 4 days at sea. So 3 of those days, I'm just going to lock myself in the room and I'm going to finish my book. I have a half a chapter left. So that chapter actually is
Nice.
how you can leverage the national days. As an example, on the 18th of March is National Drink Wine Day. So I went up north earlier this year and I had a ship tour in San Francisco. I'm like, why not get together with my friend in Benicia? Has a great company, great wine and food, and yeah, the food is amazing. So I reached out to him about three
Love
weeks
it.
before. I said, why don't we have a National Drink Wine Day event? He goes, that sounds great. Can you make a flyer? I said, yes. So I made a flyer and we closed out that whole restaurant. The entire restaurant was to celebrate National Drink Wine Day. And now he wants to do it every single year. There's a restaurant here in Southern California that makes really great pizza. We just had National Drink or what was it? National Dive Bar Day. National Taco Day is coming up, so
Um,
I'm paying it forward to a local restaurant who's struggling, and we're trying to keep those doors open. So same thing for Las Vegas. I'm collaborating with different restaurants and different business owners to pay it forward to their business. Therefore, we're collaborating and making business as a whole as a part of both of us, or in our case with our friend Anthony. All three of us are going to be collaborating and helping each other out. So that's it. Just keeps on going full circle there. The more you pay it forward.
that's Yeah, absolutely. It really is. It's really important to create those win-wins with different businesses and all that jazz. I was gonna ask you though, real quick, having been in this business for many years, what would you recommend to someone starting out in your industry or just in general as an entrepreneur?
I want to say create some kind of system. For instance, when someone joined my agency, I actually sent them a card that has the steps of being a travel agent, and these are your next steps. And gather their birthday, their half birthday. If you know people who are business owners, like for instance, every year I send my surf instructor a different gift. For instance, for Anthony, I have a special mug that I'm making him that has his logo and stuff like that. So just step outside of the box. Send a gift to somebody for no reason. You could send a magazine article that maybe has something to do with their industry, and make those phone calls. Call them and let them know that you appreciate them. Because at the end of the day, all they're thinking is about people who are hitting them up. I'm sure you see this on LinkedIn or Facebook. Someone will try to friend you. They're not even your friend yet, actually, and they'll send
Yeah.
probably like an 8-page dissertation. Yeah, there was
Yeah.
some time
I've got
ago.
those.
Actually, he was trying to get me to refer her to people. I said, "Well, we haven't physically met on the computer. Really get to know." Oh, I thought we were getting to know each other. Just a stream of stuff. I said, "Well, I'll tell you what. You can take one of my courses." She goes, "Can't you just give me a free document?" I'm like, "No, you had to take my course." No. So
Nice.
so all kidding aside, you have to build that relationship, schedule that one-on-one, and once you schedule that one-on-one, it's all about the value of remember. I talk about this in my upcoming book. How how are people going to remember you at the end of your life? Are they going to remember you as someone that sent a dissertation on the Facebook or LinkedIn, or are they going to remember
Yeah.
you as someone who's done something in the community, has given back, has taken the time to refer you to others? That's what we have to think. And are you creating that legacy at the end of your life? What have you done to create that legacy?
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah. It's really important. It's good to have that mindset, when you're and show up with that, when you're reaching out to people. It's very important. And I was gonna ask you, what's your future goals for your business now? You mentioned the book. I know that's a future goal of yours, but what and your courses, where do you plan to take those?
So once the book is out, I'm actually going to be meeting with my publisher, Patrick Snow. You could actually meet him through the Mary West Network. And actually, today they had one of my friends on there that I referred to his program, talking about his book. And so my goal is actually to hit the United States and get this book out there and teaching people how to grow their business through referrals and national days. There's the one biggest chapter in there is the whole process from when you meet somebody, no matter where you meet them at, until the close of sale or the referral. And because a lot of people, when they meet for a one-on-one, they don't even know what to say for a one-on-one. So Robin Stern and I,
Right.
yeah, he actually wrote this book using Google's stuff, and him and I are coming on the Mary West Network, and we're going to talk about the value of remember and how we can build the rapport and get to know each other. And you can meet somebody for a one-on-one, and by the next day you're referring them because you just have that no like trust relationship. Because you and I
Yeah.
for a couple years, and yeah, I definitely, want you to be one of my referral partners, and move forward and meet many other business owners that we could collaborate, and not just Anthony. There's so many people that we could collaborate here, Las Vegas area.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, and I was just gonna ask, is there anything else you'd like to share before we wrap on out of here?
Yes, I would like to say that anybody who is connected with Drew Mitchell, that you connect him to at least five people, let's say in the next 30 days. Think of five people that you could connect him with. And that's really how your business is going to grow, because you're referring Drew Mitchell's video services. And in turn, you, Drew Mitchell, is going to do the same back. So I'd
Oh,
like
of
to
course.
say
Yeah.
take the time. It's totally free to do a review. Ask Drew where you can review him. Google, Facebook, totally free. And come on a podcast and talk about your business, and talk about how both of you can help each other.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, Cindy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then of course I have to ask this because I want people to find you. What's the best way for people to find you online?
You can go to bucketlistcoachtravel.com. You can schedule a one on one with me. And I would love to get to know your business and schedule a time where I can connect you to my sphere of influence.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Cindy, for hopping on the show. I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing your story. It's been a pleasure having you on and
Thank you.
learning more about your book and your courses and your philosophy. Your business philosophy is very cool.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care, guys, and thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, stay classy.